Hi, g'day everybody. My name is Dan Older. Welcome to Patanjali's Yoga Sutras for the new millennium. Now I'm creating this video series to help spread awareness and to help people understand the message and the meaning of Patanjali's Yoga Sutras. It's an ancient Indian text that is full of insight and wisdom that I reckon will blow your mind at times. Now, if you are brand new to the subject, let's just have a quick look at the meaning of each of those words. Patanjali, Yoga, Sutra. Let's begin with Sutra. Now, you might be able to see here that in the Devanagari, the word is spelt the same. Same too with this grammar transliteration. The word sutra is spelt the same way. But over here in English, there are at least 5 different ways that an English speaker can interpret the word sutra. So for our purposes, I think the best way that you can think of sutra is as an aphorism. So we're dealing with Patanjali's yoga aphorisms. So you might be asking yourself, what on earth is an aphorism? So let's have a quick look at that. An aphorism is a general truth or astute observation expressed in a concise, pithy, and witty way. Now, Patanjali's Yoga Sutras are not exactly witty, but they are most definitely concise and pithy. So I think that it is very fair for both yourself and myself to think of the word sutra as being a precise statement of fact. All right, let's move on. Patanjali. What or who is Patanjali? There are more than a few good stories out there about Patanjali, and I wholeheartedly encourage you to go to Google or to other YouTube channels and listen to some of them. But I think the only thing necessary for you to know about the word Patanjali is that Patanjali is the name of the author of the Yoga Sutras. So Patanjali is not a name that we need to be afraid of because we don't understand what it means. It is just simply the name of the author of the Yoga Sutras. All right, and finally, what is yoga? I'm going to tell you what yoga is in very precise terms in the next video. But for now, just in case you happen to be somebody who considers yourself to be unflexible and you've been to yoga classes before and you think that you're no good at it, I want to ease your mind. For the purpose of the Yoga Sutras, we are not talking about doing back bends or forward bends or upward dogs or downward dogs or standing on our heads. So we will get to the exact meaning of yoga in the next video, but for now, it's nothing to do with what you can or you can't do with your body, okay? So Patanjali's Yoga Sutras. Patanjali is the author. Yoga, I'll define for you in the next video. And Sutra is a very precise statement of fact. I'll tell you a couple of other things about the Yoga Sutras as a whole. There are 195 Yoga Sutras in the entire text. Now, given that these are precise statements of fact, think about how long it might take you to speak or read 195 sentences. It'd only take you 5 minutes perhaps. So Patanjali's Yoga Sutras is a very small text, only 195 sentences really. However, each one of those sutras is incredibly deep in its meaning and requires a lot of contemplation. The 195 sutras are broken into 4 separate chapters. And so in this video series, I'm going to, of course, address each sutra in a new video. So today I'm going to introduce you to the very first sutra, and my next video will be the second sutra, so on and so forth. And we'll cover all 195 sutras in all 4 chapters. Okay, I want to introduce you to somebody. Everybody, meet Shrikant. Now, this is a good friend of mine, but Shri is also my Sanskrit teacher. And Sanskrit is the language that the Yoga Sutras were originally written in. Now, Shri and I have been working together for a little while, and we've been working towards translating the Yoga Sutras into English. And not just translating them, but also interpreting them. So what is their meaning? And we have been having a pretty good time doing that. All kinds of incredible stuff has been going on in our brains since this project begun. Now, we haven't stopped there. We have also been putting our thoughts to paper. And we're creating a series of books. So I told you a moment ago that the Yoga Sutras consist of 4 separate chapters. And so Shri and I are writing 4 separate books, 1 book for each chapter. And I'm very happy to say that the first book is done and dusted. So here's an image of it. Patanjali's Yoga Sutras for the New Millennium, a translation for the modern mind. So if you'd like to get your hands on a copy of this, I'll put the email, not my email, I'll put my website just at the bottom of the screen here, probably about here. And please visit my website and grab yourself a book when you're ready. Okay, let's move on. Everybody. With every sutra that I show you, there will be at least 3 lines of text. There will be the Devanagari script. This is Sanskrit in its written form. And then we have that grammar transliteration, which is in English letters that an English speaker can begin to pronounce, but still not have any idea what the words actually mean. And then finally, we have the English translation. So, I'm going to get Shri to enunciate this for us. Off you go, Shri.
Pratamaha samadhipadaha.
Thanks, mate. Beautiful. Now, if you want to amuse yourself, try it with me. Pratamaha samadhipadaha. Now, what does that actually mean? It means first samadhi part. Because there are 4 chapters in the Yoga Sutras. The first chapter is about samadhi. Another way to think of it is the Yoga Sutras consist of 4 parts. First, samadhi part. All right, let's move on to the first sutra in the first chapter. Here we go. Now, yoga instruction. Shri, if you don't mind, off you go.
Atha yoga anushasanam.
Thanks, mate. So again, if you want to have a go with me, Atta yoganushasanam. And this literally translates to now, yoga instruction. Now, I mentioned a little earlier that each of the Yoga Sutras have incredibly deep meanings and that they can be contemplated for a very long period of time. But this first sutra is not particularly deep at all. This is just purely Patanjali's introduction. Patanjali is just stating his intention to give yoga instruction. So I like to visualize a little group and Patanjali sitting in front of that group. And the first thing that he says to them, now, yoga instruction. The second sutra tells us precisely what yoga is. So there you are. That is the end of my first video, and it's also the end of the first sutra. And I hope you feel like you have an understanding of this first sutra, simple as it is. And I look very forward to sharing the second sutra with you. Take care until then. All the best.